This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Ever wonder about those sudden, stomach-turning drops in the stock market? We're diving into the wild world of Indian stock market crashes today.
It's a roller coaster, that's for sure. Booms and busts, it's all part of the game.
Exactly, and this article lays it all out from the very first crash way back in 1865 to the more recent ones.
Crazy to think about how long these markets have been around and the wild swings they've seen.
Right? So let's start at the beginning. What was the situation like in that first crash?
Well, it was a time of huge speculation fueled by profits from cotton and the American Civil War. Prices were sky high, then boom, the war ended, cotton prices plummeted, and the whole thing came crashing down.
So it was a classic bubble bursting?
Absolutely. Think tulip mania, but with Indian stocks. People lost fortunes, businesses went under, the city's population even dropped. Wow.
Wow. And then we jump forward to the 1980s and 90s. What were some of the major events then?
The 1991 crash was a big one linked to economic liberalization and some major scams. Then there was the Harshad Mehta scam in 1992, a real scandal that shook the market.
So these were more about insider trading and market manipulation?
Exactly. It wasn't just about global events. There was a lot of shady stuff going on.
And the 2000s? That seems like a particularly volatile decade.
Oh yeah, the global financial crisis hit India hard. There were several sharp drops in 2007 and 2008 linked to global events and investor panic. Remember Black Monday in 2008?
I do. A huge drop in a single day. What were some of the contributing factors?
A mix of things: global uncertainty, FII selling, and even huge derivative positions leading to margin calls. It was a perfect storm. Yeah, it was pretty intense.
And the 2010s brought their own set of challenges.
Definitely. We saw crashes linked to global slowdowns like the China slowdown in 2015 and even the demonetization drive in India in 2016.
So these were more about broader economic factors and government policies?
Precisely. It shows how interconnected the global economy is and how domestic policies can have a huge impact. Right.
And then the 2020s started with a bang, or rather, a crash.
The COVID-19 pandemic had a massive impact. Lockdowns and global uncertainty led to some of the worst falls in years.
And then the 2024 election crash, that seems to have been quite significant.
It was a big one linked to the unexpected election results. The market reacted strongly to the political shift. Yeah, a pretty big deal.
Before we wrap up, how do we even define a crash? Is there a single universally accepted definition?
Not really. Some use a percentage drop over a short period. Others look at the difference between daily highs and lows. It's a bit subjective, I see.
And what about investor behavior during these crashes? What are some common patterns?
Perfect selling is a big one. People get scared and rush to sell, often at the worst possible time. It's a classic case of fear driving the market. Yeah, understandable, I guess.
The article mentions some interesting data from SEBI, the Indian securities regulator. What did that show?
A huge percentage of individual traders in the FLO segment lost money in FY22. It highlights the risks involved in these markets.
The article also includes some chart analysis. What can we learn from those charts?
They show the long-term trends, the booms and busts, and the overall volatility of the Indian stock market. It's a visual representation of the ups and downs.
Right. So what are some key takeaways from all these crashes? What can investors learn?
Diversification is crucial. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Also, understanding risk management is essential. And remember, markets are cyclical. There will be ups and downs. Good points.
Any predictions for the future? Will we see more crashes?
It's impossible to predict the future with certainty, but given the global economic climate and political uncertainties, it's safe to say that volatility will likely continue. Yeah, probably.
So it's a wild ride, but a fascinating one. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure.
It was a great discussion.